Hi, I'm Midge Shoemaker, and this is week 11 of my doing 100 weeks of creating a healthier, happier lifestyle for myself. So, yay! I made it to week 11, and I'm actually making my video on Friday, which is the day that I'm supposed to be making my videos because that's the end of my week. So, yay! I did that. I'm very happy I did that. Um, I'm I'm not really sure what to say about my videos. I'm supposed to be trying to improve my life in 6 different areas: spiritually, emotionally, socially, mentally, financially, and physically. I think those are the 6 different areas. Anyway, those 6 areas, and some weeks I do way better on those than others, and some weeks I don't do quite so well. And today I'm having one of those. Having to mentally remind myself, and I've had to mentally remind myself a lot this week to be gentle with myself because this has been a rough week for me, emotionally, and maybe a little bit physically as well. And probably not doing as much that I could spiritually to help with all of that, because when I'm emotionally a mess, I just don't care about all the other things. So I don't like emotional roller coaster weeks or messes or whatever you want to call them. But I was reminded today, I was thinking about something I learned in my emotional self-reliance class, that when you're having setbacks or when things aren't working out in your process of your goals, it's kind of like getting a flat tire, and you have to stop and change the tire before you can go forward. But you don't go backwards, you just pick up where you were and keep going. So this was a flat tire week, and it's pretty much taken me all week to figure out how to get through how to change a stupid tire to move on with my life. Anyway, not that I had to actually change a tire this time. I have actually had to change a tire, but not this week. I didn't. This is an emotional metaphor, not an actual changing of a tire today, because I have depression and anxiety and PTSD and panic attacks, and I have all of those things, and they are not fun, and oftentimes they interfere with what I want to do in my life. And sometimes it's very difficult for me to be gentle with myself when I am dealing with those emotional things that pop up, because I don't want them to pop up in my life, because sometimes I feel like I can work around them and not let them get in the way or interfere, and other times I feel like they just take over. And when they take over, I have a tendency to spiral into a negative cycle where I just tell myself negative things. I get frustrated with myself. I start listing all the things that I could have done or should be doing and I'm not doing. And I get more and more frustrated. I get more and more depressed, and it just feeds the problem instead of making it better. So it's very difficult for me to break that cycle. And I have been doing a lot of work over the past year trying to break that cycle for myself. But it doesn't always work, and sometimes it's still there. But I am learning to be more grateful for things that happen. I am learning to be more positive, to see things in a different light, willing to see things from a different perspective. So this week I've been struggling with sleep the entire week. I got sick, and then I was feeling better, which I was grateful for. I was finally feeling better. I was only sick for like a week and a half, and it wasn't even that bad. I just didn't do a lot of things because of that. And then this week I've been fairly healthy. I just haven't been able to sleep. Literally been up for over 24 hours a day, multiple days this past week, sleeping about 3, maybe 4 hours in between my 24-hour stints. It's just really not been good. And I don't function on 3 or 4 hours of sleep, or at least not well. And then I don't do anything because I'm tired and I'm just waiting for myself to go back to sleep. And then everything irritates me and bothers me. And it's just really frustrating. And I finally got to where I'm like, okay, I just have to do stuff even if I'm tired. I have to go do stuff. And it's hard to make myself do stuff when I'm really tired and I'm just really irritated. And then, of course, I had the realization that when I'm tired and I can't sleep, I focus too much on other people, other things, other noises, because I don't sleep well to noise. And I realized I have noisy neighbors that I blame all the time for my inability to sleep. And I think this week of not being able to sleep, even when it was quiet, I couldn't sleep. It was really irritating to me. And it was finally the realization to me that it's me that keeps me from sleeping. It's not someone else. It's that I focus on other noises. I focus on other things when I can't fall asleep. And if I can't fall asleep, I need to find other things that I can do besides laying in bed and being irritated by the fact that I can't sleep, because that just makes me more irritated. It gets me more riled up, and then I just really can't sleep. So it's just really annoying. I think my camera got clipped or something on my phone because I feel like I'm looking sideways instead of straight ahead, which is weird. Sorry, this is my this is my randomness that just pops out at me sometimes, so I apologize for that. And I don't like looking away from myself when I'm making my videos, so I apologize if I look like I'm looking off to the side. I'm just trying to see myself in the camera while I'm speaking. Anyway, so I also don't like talking about all of my emotional trauma, drama, whatever, but maybe it's helpful to other people that struggle with these things. And it took me, like I said, an entire week to realize that I just need to change my focus, which is hard to do, especially when I'm tired and frustrated. And I'm realizing that I'm just mostly frustrated with myself and my inability to sleep, and that I need to just go to work and do things in spite of being tired. And the funny thing is when I finally just made myself go to work, even though I was extremely tired, God blessed me to have the strength and energy to put in like 8-9 hours of work, which is amazing when I had no sleep. And then I actually slept last night. I slept. I mean, I slept for like 5 or 6 hours, and then I got up and I got something to eat, and then I went back to sleep. And I did it like twice. I went back to sleep, so I probably got like multiple bursts of sleep in a row. I mean, I had a few where I was awake for a little bit, but then I was able to just go right back to sleep. And I was like, yes, finally, I can sleep. This is amazing. So apparently, when I'm having my inabilities to sleep, my insomnia, that's one of those side effects of depression. You get like where you sleep, deep sleep for hours, like 10, 12 hours a day or more, and you're just tired all the time. And then you have the opposite where you're just like, have insomnia and you just can't sleep, and it's really frustrating. My body is so used to the extremes, and I'm not liking the extremes. And the older I get, the harder it is to do extremes. It would be nice to find some kind of a balance, or to just go, a little off kilter every once in a while instead of, one extreme to the other. So anyway, it was a nice reminder, perspective for me that it's my choice to get angry at other noises. It's my choice to get upset and frustrated and to blame other people when I have the inability to sleep, because I'm a light sleeper, and that sucks for me. Because there's some people out there that aren't light sleepers, and I'm totally jealous of you people that can sleep through anything, seriously, and that can sleep anywhere. I am totally jealous of that. I am not one of those people, and that is something that I have to live with. That is something that I have to deal with. But getting angry and upset at myself or at noises and other people when I can't sleep is not. So I've been praying a lot to be able to block out the noises and to be able to sleep in spite of the noises. And it's worked a little bit, but not as much as I would like it to. But I'm having to learn that if I want to, I've started to change my perspective of my idea that if I want to move, if I want to get away from the noises, I want to get somewhere quiet, I need to get working, I need to get financially stable, I need to follow through on all of my other goals so that I can be happier and healthier where I'm at, with who I am, and be in a position where I can move and get somewhere that I want to be. And I can't do that if I'm just frustrated and angry and just complaining and blaming it on other people and other noises. Like, it's just another excuse not to do things, and I need to stop making excuses not to do things. So I am grateful for those realizations. And of course, I was thinking I don't have a whole lot to say for week 11 because I just didn't sleep this week. I didn't earn a lot of money, so my finances are going to be a mess again, and just stressing. And I have a tendency to overwhelm myself with all the things that I want to do or get accomplished in the day. And even though I know I'm perfectly capable of doing all those things, when I start thinking of them at the beginning of my day, it stresses me out. I get overwhelmed, and then I shut down and I'm just not going to do anything. And then I get frustrated that I'm not doing anything, and then I don't sleep, and then it's a really weird, bad cycle. So that I need to break. So I need to spend more time praying and listening to God and what He wants me to do in my life, and spending more time reading my scriptures and meditationals and facing the things that I'm avoiding, because then they can't build up in me, and then the anxiety and can't build up in me. And but as much as I would love to say that it's all of these things that can't build up in me, and then I will eliminate my depression and my anxiety and all of those, my insomnia and all of those things, it doesn't work that way. I can learn to respond differently to myself. I can be gentle with myself and not beat myself up when I'm being an insomniac. I can remind myself that I'm like, okay, if I'm not sleeping, what can I do? What can I focus on? What can I accomplish? Because I'm just not sleeping. And even though I'm tired, maybe if I get up and do stuff, I might be able to sleep. And even if I'm not, at least I'll feel productive. So I am having to learn that there's just different ways to respond to what's going on in my life, respond to my emotional traumas and issues, because I can't just magically make them go away. There are things that I will probably have to deal with my entire life, but there are things that I can learn to respond to differently. And I'm not one of those research people. I don't like going through and researching all the different things that you can do and try different things. Not that I'm opposed to trying new things, but I'd rather have other people tell me or give me suggestions. So if anybody's got suggestions on things I can do when I'm being an insomniac, I would appreciate that. Or how to get me to sleep, that would be fantastic, because I'm more inclined to work and do stuff when I sleep. And I keep telling myself, okay, I'm going to work tomorrow because I'm going to sleep tonight. And then I don't sleep, and then I don't have to work. And then it's a cycle. So that has been my week. It has been a flat tire week as far as getting anything done goes, which makes me feel a little bit frustrated. And I know I stopped drinking water and doing things, but I have been fairly decent about eating and trying to drink water a little bit more this week, which I'm grateful for. And I'm grateful for the food that I've had in my house. In fact, I remembered that I had some rice and I bought some chicken. So I made some rice and some chicken, and I put all of my vegetables in there, some corn and some spinach and some mushrooms. Oh, I wish I had some bell peppers. That would have just been even better. Put it over the top. But mixed all that together, and it was fantastic. And I ran out of chicken, so I added tuna fish to it, and even that was pretty good. So I also added some craisins and some sunflower seeds, which was a little weird. It was still good, but it was a little weird. That was more salady and not vegetable ricey, but it was still good. So I was like, yay, I can experiment with food and make things, and I'm grateful for food that I have at home, because it means that I've been eating more, which is a good thing. Aware of the fact that I'm hungry, and aware that I can go eat, which is good. I'm also hungry now, so when I'm done with this video, I get to go eat. But anyway, those are some positive things for this week. I did not sleep Saturday either, but I went to church in spite of not having any sleep. That was interesting. If you're curious how that video went, that was my spontaneous video for day 31, so you can watch that video. Like I said, I haven't done, and that's the most social I did was church on Sunday. A little social because I went to my training on Tuesday night for cleaning the temple during the open house. So there was that. That was fun. And then just the day that I worked, and that's about it. So like I said, I haven't done much for this week. And there's part of me that was thinking before I did this video that I'm like, okay, this is week 11. I should have made like ginormous amounts of progress by now. And that's that old crazy thinking that I'm like, I can change overnight. And then I had to remind myself again that the whole point is this is 100 weeks, and it will probably be like 25 or 50 weeks in before I start noticing a difference in myself, and maybe people watching these videos will notice a difference in me, which will hopefully encourage you to work on yourself if you're trying to be healthier and happier on a daily basis. You can see the progress I'm making and know that it is possible, and that, you may not see the progress in yourself first. And I was looking at my weight that hasn't really changed much, and I'm like, well, if I exercise when I'm eating, at least I'm not increasing in weight, so this is a good thing. And exercise creates muscle, which weighs more than fat, and I'm trying to replace some of the fat with muscle, so it may take a while before the weight starts actually coming off. It also requires me to be more consistent with my exercising, which I have not been, and I have not exercised this past week because I have not been sleeping, and I don't feel like exercising, and when I don't have any energy because I haven't got any sleep, which is a difficult thing for me to do, to make myself do things when I haven't had any sleep. So I am grateful for the little bit of progress that I made for going to work yesterday, being able to at least get my car registered. So yay, I can keep working. I can pay some bills, so that's a positive thing. And I took my landlord on Sunday to get the check from the church to pay the utilities, so he didn't charge me utilities this month. As I offered, I was like, what do I owe you for utilities? Because I can probably pay them, which is what I was assuming. I was going to work all week and didn't know I wasn't going to be able to sleep. And he was like, oh, don't worry about it. It's all taken care of. And I was like, yay. So that's one less bill I have to pay for this month. So financially, that's a huge blessing for me right now. And I'm grateful for those little blessings and those little tender mercies that God has given me, and grateful for the reminder that I am not meant to change overnight, that this is 100 weeks. And the goal, as much as I would like to lose weight, isn't so much about losing the weight as it is being healthy, of having energy and learning to love myself and be happy with who I am and where I am. And I can't be happy with myself if I'm frustrated at myself for things that are outside of my control, or if I'm angry and frustrated at other people because things are outside of my control. I'm just, it doesn't work that way. So I am grateful to have that perspective, that insight, that realization of things that I need to change, which means that whatever I'm doing is working to some extent. And maybe it's not working the way that I want or how I want, but it's working, and God is working in me to help me make changes and to change my perspective and to be happy with who I am, where I am today. In fact, I think I had, oh, I don't know if I already did that video, if it was last week or this week, but I did have one day when I was reading my scriptures and meditationals and trying to see myself the way that God sees me. And he told me that I'm okay just the way that I am today. I don't have to be different. And what I can do, I can change what I am doing and how I respond to things, but I don't have to change who I am as a person, because who I am as a person is a good person. I'm an okay person. I'm okay just the way that God made me. I just need to see myself that way more often. And what I can change is the things that I do and how I respond to things. But I don't need to change who I am at the core of who I am, I guess. So that was kind of a nice realization, and something else for me to focus on and to remember as I go through this process of trying to make changes, that I am not trying to completely change who I am, but I'm trying to allow the person inside of me to come out, the real me to be expressed in my videos and in my real life, and to accept that person and to be grateful for who I am and for what I'm capable of doing, and allowing myself to do the things I'm capable of instead of standing in my way and making excuses, but just letting myself go to work, especially when I'm an insomniac. I'm like, I may as well do all the stuff that I can't do any other time, or that I think I don't have time for, because I'm like, well, as long as I'm not sleeping. But my thing is, I'm not sleeping and I'm tired, so I should just lay down and try to sleep. I should, play games or watch movies or something to put me to sleep. And sometimes that works, but sometimes it just doesn't work at all. It just keeps me awake even longer, and it just adds to my situation. But it's a process, learning to change my responses to things and doing things differently, which is why I'm giving myself 100 weeks. And at this point, I still have 89 weeks to go. So, and even at the end of 89 weeks, the next 89 weeks, or the end of the 100 weeks, I am not going to be a perfect person. I may not be perfectly healthy or perfectly happy, but hopefully I will be happier and healthier than I am today. And that's really the goal. That really is where the focus needs to be, is to just continue to progress, continue to find ways to be happy with who I am and where I'm at in my life, and continue to find ways to grow and to learn new things and to make new friends and to be more confident in myself and not worry so much about what other people are doing. And that's hard. That really is hard. And it's really hard not to compare myself to other people or to judge myself based on even my perspective of who I think I should be as to who I am, or where I think I should be in my life and to where I am. And these are hard things for me to just put into proper perspective, but it's a process, and I know that God is helping me, and I know that this is working, just very, very slowly and not quite the way that I want. But I've also been learning that things don't always work out the way that I want, but they still work. And when I do my 100 days videos, I always learn something about myself in that process. And by the end of the 100 days, I don't end up where I thought I was going to be at the beginning. So I'm curious to see where I will end up at the end of this 100 weeks, because it's so far not going quite the way that I thought that it would, but it's still going. And I am grateful that if nothing else, I am learning that I am determined, and I am not giving up, even when things do not go the way that I want them to. I am still sharing that with everyone that chooses to watch these videos. So I am grateful for that, my stubborn determination to keep me going, even if it's, just to keep picking up and starting over and having the same struggles every week. But it makes me human. At least I'm human, and I can be happy about that. I can be grateful for that, and I can be grateful that I'm learning and growing, hopefully. And hopefully this is helpful and inspirational to other people. And like I said, if you have any suggestions or ideas, please feel free to share them in comments. If you like these videos, you can hit like, subscribe, share with someone else if you think they'll like it too. And I hope you have a great week full of gratitude and find some ways to be happier and healthier in your life too.